Welcome
to We'll
We'll
Sleep,
Sleep
When
When
We're
We're
Dead.
Dead. Gee,
Episode 5, is it? Yeah. 5.
you know, crushing it.
You really are.
We're doing it.
And I've given myself so much feedback now that I have to watch these back. Sam gets.
Wow. Calm down.
Are you using a podcast mic?
Yeah.
And what about
Hello?
how can you hear me? You don't have headphones in, do you?
I do.
They were just hidden by the hair.
So in case
maybe
you're
I
listening,
need to upgrade to that. Yeah, in case you're listening
and you've
Sam
never
has a
watched us on
podcast mic.
YouTube, you can.
You know who watches us on YouTube is my sister-in-law. She's like, it's the only way that she consumes podcasts.
Because there's been comments about how blonde Lucy's hair is, because Lucy's normally a brunette and she's beautifully blonde right now. If you want to see a very
to go blonder next week for fall.
We're going less blonde.
Yeah, I've already sent my hairstylist like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I sent her a text that said like, we're limping to the finish line with this hair. And I would imagine you don't care to hear from me 2 weeks ahead of my appointment. And yet I am going to send you this text with a picture so that you can just mentally prepare for.
My gosh,
that is called high maintenance. That's called like one of your most high maintenance clients. So I already feel bad for her.
Yeah. Well, maybe people don't know this about you. Going to get haircuts there is a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of commenting post-cut. There's a lot of this is terrible, then we like it. So it's a lot when you have Lucy. Ride. Yeah, your hair has been a lot.
And we don't ever know how we feel.
I'm actually going the opposite because everybody keeps complimenting my blonde, but I've not got it. Obviously, I'm a natural blonde, but this is fake. But like, I have been running outside so much. I've not gotten my hair blonde highlight since March, which again, it's September. And people have said stuff to me. And this is literally all just, I think, from running outside so much. But now that we're entering into fall and winter, I'm doing the opposite. I'm going in 2 weeks because I only color my hair once or twice most of the year. And I already have pictures of like even blonder.
I love that.
I know.
The only reason I went this direction was because I was starting to get some grays were starting to pop. And there were one of two directions you can go. At least this is what they told me. And I don't know what I'm doing, so I just trust whoever. It was either we go darker to like fully cover, or we start like incorporating some highlights. And incorporating some highlights really from the 2 years that I started doing it has been a full transition from couple light little touches to
blonde. Yeah. Which honestly, it's not. Being blonde is hard work. We all, anybody can agree.
Got time for it?
Nobody has time. No. You know what? If I'm scared of AI, but if AI could fix that, I would be the happiest thing in the world because I'm already.
Do we think we're gonna have a robot fix our grays?
No. I don't care about. I don't care about grays. I mean, making a 3.5-hour blonde appointment, 20 minutes.
Wow. For anyone that's out there listening that can do this, I will put funding behind this. I will invest.
I was even listening to Amy Poehler's podcast because it's like my new obsession.
Same. I literally have it as a topic of discussion for today because I'm so obsessed. Yeah.
She had that amazing new not new because she's older, but Leanne, that comedian Leanne. Have you heard her?
I haven't heard that one. I thought you were going to talk about Zarna because that's what I listened to last night, which
Zarna's amazing. No, Leanne is a sweet, like grandma-aged woman. I think from everybody's going to, if you're listening, I'm going to be like, maybe Knoxville, Tennessee, but I could be wrong, but somewhere like that. So she's got this really amazing, thick Southern accent, but she has the best blonde. And Amy Poehler commented like, your blonde is so great. And she goes, you know what? I have these sweet girls from Knoxville, Tennessee. And again, it might be somewhere different, but somewhere in the South that know how to do blonde. And Amy's like, being blonde's hard work. And I have felt this way. It's like you texted your hairdresser in 2 weeks that you are concerned about your color. I'm 2 weeks away and I'm just already not wanting to sit in that chair for 3 hours. That's where I'm at. Like, I don't even care what it looks like. I'm just like annoyed that I have to waste 3 hours in a chair. So fix it, AI.
Maybe we can be doing something productive during that period of time. I don't know.
Well, it's funny because this is actually a We'll Sleep When We're Dead comment because you have texted me pictures of you with your laptop and your hair appointments. Mm-hmm. Nothing reminds me that I have nothing to do more than sitting in a chair for 3 hours. Because literally I'll like scroll for 20 minutes and be like, well, I have nothing else to do.
And now what? Yep. Yeah,
People who work
it's
on airplanes, they're like, oh, it's the best. I get so much work done. I'm like, nothing reminds me more than 5 hours on a plane. And this girl's got nothing to do.
I love being on a plane. It's like truly
Right.
my most productive time. It's
Yes.
incredible.
That's what
You're like
that's
stuck
what
in
I
a
hear.
yeah, stuck in a compressed box and there's nothing else to do. So,
And I'm like, well, I've watched a show, I've scrolled my phone, I've deleted all the photos I don't like on my phone, and I still
yeah.
got 2.5 hours left.
hmm
So,
hmm And we'll keep sitting here. Oh
my
my gosh.
gosh.
Well, we are excited about our topic today. I was already, now that we have to like name the podcasts when we actually post them, I was like, well, we can't say we did it because that was like what we labeled the first one. But I think this one might be we made it because we're talking about
End of summer.
just the sheer victory that we made it through the summer. And I would say more so Sam than me because she was out there
Grinding.
every day grinding it out with those girls. But it was funny when we talked about, okay, Sam's kids finally went back to school this week. And I
2 out
I
of 3.
literally think it should be a crime that kids don't start school until after Labor Day. That's just wrong. Especially because it was days after Labor Day that you were
I
still
texted Kyle. I was like, this feels like a punch when I'm down. That the Tuesday
yeah,
after Labor Day, I'm still parenting at home
all
with
day.
no camp and no school and nothing to do.
I don't think any story demonstrates this more than on Tuesday. I was leaving for a work trip and I decided to wait until after the kids went to bed because I had all the mom guilt about, I'm going to miss it a couple mornings and a couple evenings and whatever. And the kids were weepy about it and all the stuff. So I put the kids to bed, waited for them to leave for Chicago, which is like a 3-hour drive. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a scavenger hunt for them. So I make a whole scavenger hunt around the house. And I had like bought these little creature things that they like that were like at the end of the scavenger hunt. So I call Sam as I'm leaving the house and she's like, wow, you're really like getting on the road late. And she goes, what were you doing? I was like, I was putting the kids down and then I made this scavenger hunt. And literally, like, you could have heard a pin drop. The dead silence on the other end of the phone. And she just so dismissively goes, well, we've had very different days. And was so done with parenting after your day, which you needed to help. I mean, the insanity of you living in New York with 3 children, taking them to an allergist, which is like an allergy appointment can be like 3 hours long because you're just waiting once the prick happens to see if anything happens. I mean, you were done.
Done. Well, also, my sheer response too was like, no, Lucy, no, we don't need to make scavenger hunts. No, come on. They're going to be. And then let's share what one of your children had to say about it. So you go through all this work to do a scavenger hunt.
And then I receive a call on Wednesday morning after the scavenger hunt is complete. And I've never heard more disappointment from a child in my entire life. I mean, Henry calls and he's like, well, it's not what I was expecting. I'm like, did you do it? Like, did you go through all the steps and like, I made sure they were words that you could read, like go to Henry's locker, go to mommy's desk. Yep, he could read all of it. They did all the steps. They did it together. And then at the end, the prize was just, it wasn't what we were expecting. We didn't want it. It was too small. I thought there were 2 things. I'm like, in fact, Henry, there were 12 little creatures, 6 for each of you. So more than 2.
This is where I've become so jaded as a parent meeting all these other parents here that have like a 2-year-old and a baby because I am like the grumpy old person. When you told me that you stayed extra to make a scavenger hunt for your children, I was like, I would never spend a minute doing that because I have been burned by Isla, my oldest, like her presents for her birthday. She got so many presents. She got to go see Harry Potter on Broadway. And she's like, I just expected my presents to be bigger. Okay. Thanks, Isla. Like, just, I don't know.
Well,
It's
and I
going
just
back.
don't know what to do about it because I'm like,
No.
I
No.
told Henry, I'm like, you know what, buddy? I'm going to be totally honest with you. This type of response, because I just speak to him like he's an adult. I'm like, this kind of response really doesn't make me want to do stuff like this for you anymore.
Yeah.
Like it really makes it a little bit demotivating for mommy to like go get you something special or do something because it's just really ungrateful.
It's so ungrateful. I think though, I think about this all the time. I also talk with another one of my dear friends about how she has 3 kids, and we're just like, we're raising, like, how do we raise more grateful kids? Because we feel like we're really grateful people, but I kind of feel like we just do too much for them, and then we expect them to be grateful. Like, for example, was your mom or my mom ever creating scavenger hunts? No.
I actually feel like my mom would have done that. Like
Oh, your
that,
mom
it
would.
was
Okay.
actually, Penny would have. I mean, I think about summers, and now looking back, I'm like, the amount of work that she put into summers being epic was like amazing. Like,
Yeah,
case
we
in
need to
point,
have her on. We need to have Penny on the
we need
show.
to have Penny on.
We need
We
to
got
bring
to get
her on.
her on. I know she's
Penny, we need
listening.
some, yeah, we need some advice. How do you
I mean,
create epic
perfect
summers?
example. She did not. We always did the library summer reading program.
I remember that. I loved that as a
Loved
kid.
it. However, she was like, these prizes are lame. So she created her own set of prizes for us that we like would appreciate more. I mean, that level of work, incredible. So like she would have done a scavenger hunt like this. This would have been something Penny would have done. However, what I will say is there is a book sitting on my bedside table that I've probably read about 23 pages of since my mom gave it to me for Christmas that's literally called Raising like Grateful Kids in an Ungrateful World or something like that. This exact concept. Haven't gotten very far, and clearly my kids are not emulating that right now.
No.
So I maybe need to pick that. That might be something I'm picking back up in the next few
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah, in hindsight, won't be doing that again. Piper seemed grateful, but I got home last night and I don't know where any of those things are that they were
No.
given. So
No.
they're gone. They're probably in the trash or down the vent or something at this point. So
Yeah, that day for me is a perfect example of we'll sleep when we're dead, because what I would have given to be driving to Chicago by myself for 3 hours to go sleep by myself. I had a full day of all 3 kids post Labor Day. School had not started. And this is where I start to not trust myself. 3 months ago, why did I tell the doctor's office that a 2 p.m. during Ruby's nap time, when I have no babysitter and a husband who can't stay home and watch my other kids, was a good idea? Like,
and not even anywhere close to you. You had to
no.
travel 30 minutes by
Yeah.
a ferry to
Yeah.
get
Why did I do that? Like, that's where sometimes I'm just like, what is, like, I'm not trusting myself. Like, my brain. So
You are not well.
I'm not well. I went to Long Island City, for anybody who's listening in New York. And actually, where I live is very close to that walking or busing, but the ferry is really fun and they have the best playgrounds. So I left the house at 9:30, but as we know, 6:30 to 9:30 a.m. is a full day
Full
of
day.
children.
You've lived
Okay.
an entire 2
Full day.
lives.
So I go to the ferry at 9:30 with all 3 kids in tow. We have a wonderful play date. We have lunch, and then I take these 3 kids to Isla's allergist appointment where she gets the skin prick. I will say that nothing has made me not want 4 kids more than the 30 to 45 minutes sitting in that office. At one point, the allergist picks up Finley and Ruby. Okay, first of all, I also go to CVS and get them a snack so they like pay attention to the allergist. Finley picks a large bag of Cheetos, and Ruby picks a large bag of sour cream and Ruffle chips, okay? The best part about these 2 types of chips is your hands turn completely orange after eating them for 1 second, okay? So I'm trying to talk to Isla, or the doctor, about Isla's issue, and the girls are just monsters. I'm like looking at my phone trying to figure out reaction pictures from what Isla's dealing with, and I look up. The allergist has taken both of my kids by her hands, picked them up, put them in these chairs, taken the bags of chips out of their hands, put them on her desk.
We're done with these.
We're done. Wipes her hands, pushes them up to her desk, and puts on Bluey and was like, watch this show. And I was like, oh my God, I am so embarrassed. So then
Okay, I do laugh at these types of appointments though, because I've had, the kids climbing, like standing on those exam beds and doctors being like, can you get them down?
Yeah.
They're just so happy though. Like, do we need to get them down? I understand we're like touch and go on the danger level, but
also love too. I thought about this as a funny TikTok because our new pediatrician here, the moment they walk in, if they start crying, they immediately get the iPad and they're like, Bluey, Bluey. And it's funny because it's like, here I am at the doctor's and we want to like talk about screen time. And every single doctor's like giving my kids screen time, like, be quiet, just watch the screen. And I'm like, okay, screens can't be that bad. And then after that appointment, we had to walk. Ayla chose to walk over the bridge 35 minutes home. I did not get into my house until 4 o'clock. And I Oh, yeah, I was, and then you had called me at 8 o'clock that night. And the worst part about it all was that the following day there was still no school and I had to do it all over again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unwell.
So we made it through summer, but it was not without its challenges for both of
No,
us.
no.
And so we wanted to kind of talk about summer and then like the start of back to school, just because everyone's kind of there right now.
Uh-huh.
And we are experiencing the first of like real school with kindergarten, which has been a whole thing. And I have lots of thoughts.
So hard.
But I think the interesting thing about summer for both of us is that both of us have had very different experiences. And I think the perspective of a stay-at-home mom versus a working mom are very unique for summer because
Uh-huh.
Sam knows after 6 summers now of me being a mom, summer is the time that I always have the biggest moment of
Uh-huh.
like regret's not the right word, but the biggest moment of like doubt about am I doing the right thing as a working mom because it is incredibly hard every day to plan really fun things for your kids to be doing with someone else. And having a nanny that is the one that's like taking them to the pool and taking them to the parks and dropping them off at camp and all of
Uh-huh.
the fun things. It's just because they're so much more present and there's not as much of a schedule. I think it's the one time where I get a little bit more sad about the fact that
Uh-huh.
I'm not as involved and because it feels so finite, where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, the number of summers that we have with the kids is really short. But then it
Uh-huh.
was interesting because I was chatting with a coworker about it this week. And I was like, the funny thing is, I could have taken more time off outside
Yeah.
of the 2 days that I chose to take off for this, that, or the other reason. So it just made me think about, okay, how do I continue to like think about summers differently moving forward? Where it's like, how do I optimize for both? I think becomes
Uh-huh.
like a question. Because the flip side of it is, I also have seen you on the other end of the spectrum. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually don't necessarily think I want that either. Having to do all day, every day
Mm-mm.
with no
Mm-mm.
help. And look at your face.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope. Mm-mm. Nope.
So it's funny because you are always like, Luce, I get it. I like understand your perspective. And I think that you would feel very differently if you were doing it.
I also just think like going to the pool does really sound glamorous. And then if I gave you my account of going to the pool with all three kids every single day, you would be like, well, that actually sounds exhausting. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like you've always said this, always, every summer. And I'm always like, I will be with you if you ever want to do more time in the summer. I think I'm always here to be like, and don't get me wrong, sometimes I have the best time with my kids at the pool or I have the best time going to get popsicles, but that's like 3 hours of the day. And you still have
Mm-hmm.
like 10 more and you have lots of
And 10
meltdowns. And
weeks, 10
yeah,
more hours and 10 more weeks of it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it's like, and I think that it's interesting because I have a very different stay-at-home mom mentality. I have a little bit more of like, I don't know, like I don't love it all. I think there are maybe stay-at-home moms out there. And I've said this on the podcast before, like this was not my dream. This is not something that I feel like I am made to be. I think I'm pretty good at it at this point because I've just kind of like accepted that this is my role. But I don't do the scavenger hunt stuff. I'm much better at like logistics, making sure my kids are fed, well loved. There's activities on the calendar. But I'm not like doing the arts and crafts at home. I'm not, like it's not. Anyway, so I feel like not that I have a jaded look, but I'm just more real of like, yeah, the pool is really fun for 2 hours. But during that 2 hours of the pool, it's one kid doesn't want to swim. The other kid wants a snack. The other kid, you can't get them to wear
Yeah.
sunscreen. So like, I think
Yeah.
sometimes I'm always like, yeah, but this is how it really feels at the end of the day. And then to know for summer that you have, 10 more weeks of it. I just thrive on schedules. And then the flip side with camps, which I don't know if you're going to talk about that at all. I think camps are so fun for kids, but I don't like that like every single week is a different camp and a different schedule and a different drop off at a different time. Like that's even hard for the kids. And so then like the last 2 weeks of this summer, well, 4 weeks really, but we were vacationing for two. I told myself, even in February, when you have to sign up for these, I was like, I'm just going to have 2 weeks off. Because I liked summer of being able to just like, I remember being in my PJs until noon in the summer. Like I remember that being fun. And these 2 weeks like challenged me more than I've ever been able to the point where I'm like, I don't know if next summer I want to have 2 weeks of zero plans, nothing to do with three kids all day. That And then I start to like doubt myself as a mom. Like, are all these other stay-at-home moms able to get through these days better than me? Because by noon every day, I have lost my marbles. Like, I've cleaned up so many messes. I've planned all the activities. I've done everything. And
Made a meal for the 100th time in a row. I
and
think
they
that
kids inevitably need more snacks during summer. I think it's basically science at this point that they have to have 40 snacks a day in the summer. So yeah, summer, I've like said it a lot. Like, it's not where I thrive. School year, I love the schedule. I love taking things. I don't know.
But
Summer's
I think it's like
not.
it's okay to say that because
Yeah.
we were both Sam and I listened to we mentioned the Amy Poehler podcast earlier, but she talks with Zarna Garg and we loved the podcast and Sam sent me the clip and was like, you need to listen to this. And essentially they basically bring up the point that like women don't talk enough about the fact that like it is hard and it is like not fun at times and it can be boring and it
So
can be
boring.
all of those things at the same time is the fact that you love your child. And so
Yeah. And I feel like we're, as women, I've noticed this a lot that like, if we're really stern and we're really like whatever, then we're being a bee or we're grumpy. But if we're like real, we're being negative and we're being whiny. And it's like, I'm always editing myself to make sure people don't think I'm complaining. But at the same time, if you ask me how my day was and it was horrible, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, today was so hard for me. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying like the kids did this. I had to go to an allergist appointment with all 3 kids. Like, it's just more of like real life that I'm like, I've said all the time, I'm going to literally evaporate of boredom as a stay-at-home mom some days because it's like, if I have to look at these walls.
your example is always if I have to push one more person on a swing.
Oh my gosh.
I will
Don't
actually
even
die
get
of
me
boredom.
started on swings. Swings should be banned from all playgrounds. That is my hot take of everything. People are going to be so mad at me. I purposely go to playgrounds without swings when I'm in a bad mood because I do not want to push a kid on a swing.
Never actually seen a park without a swing set. So
thank God city parks do because there's some small ones out there and I purposely go to them without swings because higher. And then they magically like don't know how to pump their legs anymore. And then there's kids and then swings are dangerous. You have to teach the kid how to do the rainbow around the thing. And then there's always a random like teenager on the swing.
I haven't taught my kids this. What is the rainbow?
Like to make sure that they make the rainbow around the swing instead of go straight and then they get hit. Like if the swings are swinging.
Yeah, I didn't teach my kids that. So we still just go plow straight on into the other children. So Aunt Sam is going to come teach about the rainbow policy on the swing sets. But no, after this, we're gonna publish a map of all the swingless
without swings. 1,000%. 1,000%.
That's coming out after this podcast.
I'm over it. Okay, but now that you're in kindergarten, summer's over. We did it. I have some thoughts on how I'm going to make summer differently. I do have some reminders, and I've even voiced them to Kyle to be like, hold me accountable in the winter, because that's what's crazy is we forget. So come winter, I'll be like, oh, 2 weeks sounds great to not have any plans. So I'm like...
I'm also going to remind you what you told me this week, that you said we are not going to be here for those 2 days after Labor Day.
We won't. No. We won't do it.
Where you're going to be, but you're not going to be there.
I'm not going to be in New York City. I'm not going to be. No. So yeah, I have some ideas of how I'm going to make it better. That's one thing is like, if I'm going to complain, I'm not just going to like not do anything about it. So I want to
next year for the podcast, we're going to hold you.
See where I'm at. Okay. And then, so you had kindergarten. I have second grade, pre-K, and a 3s program, but kindergarten is a really big year. And I would love to hear your thoughts because Isla had a rough go.
So it's been interesting because overall, I get the feeling that things are going really well. Like Henry really likes his teacher. He's making friends. He's making lots of girlfriends. I did drop off this week at one point and he's like, there's so-and-so, and like ran up to her and got so excited. And I was like, is she in your class? And he was like, no. And so like, it's interesting because they get the impression all the kindergartners like at recess or whatever, just like really cross-pollinate across teachers, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And it's cool to think like, okay, this is the group of people that he is going to grow up with. Like that's, I think, the thing that I'm just like really wrapping my head around now that I'm like, we don't want to move anymore. Like we feel we're very settled. Like this feels like it. So I'm like, okay, this is so funny. Like who are going to be the friends that he sticks with? So those are all the positives. Like I think he really likes buying school lunch, which this health nut mom is.
I've wondered.
Struggling with. honestly,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, I don't prefer those options that
Mm-hmm.
you're having.
Mm-hmm.
But there's two sides of this. One, when I travel for work, this is far easier for Kev to just be like,
School lunch
we're
is the
not
best
packing
thing
a
ever.
lunch. I mean, it's like so easy. It makes
It's the
mornings
best.
like much. Never going to be one of those parents that packs lunch the night before. I just can't.
No, no,
I
no,
can't.
no,
One
no.
of
Mm-mm,
my
no,
best friends says she unpacks the lunch and packs it the minute they get home.
no, no.
It's incredible. I'm like, you are a goddess. The fact that you can even think like that.
Well, that's because
I'm
at
gonna
three,
muscle my way through it in the morning. I'm gonna be angry about it while I'm doing it, and
well,
everyone's gonna be running late. So
I'm gonna be angry about it no matter what. But we get up at 5 a.m. We have 4 hours to pack a lunch. At 3:30, I'm getting nothing done that's productive. So I just think there's two different peoples in the world, and that's okay.
tell me, okay, tell me this because I this has been a curiosity for me. We wake up at 5, like school drop-offs start at 8:15. Why are we still running late every day?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Got to start
I don't
really early.
I don't understand it. I'm like,
Well,
why
yeah,
am I still yelling for us to get
yeah.
out the door on time? It like
80%
clockwork.
of the days we're yelling to get out the door. Every once in a while we're on it. It's like we
But
have to
it's like
start.
I don't understand it. I'm like
Yeah, I know.
I'll never
We
understand
start
it.
at 7.
Anyways,
We start at 7:15 and we have to leave by 8. Like we start literally like putting socks on, brushing hair, brushing teeth. I mean, it takes us that long to get 3 kids out the door, so.
I would love to meet a mother. I'm hoping we can through this. That's just calm no matter the circumstances. Like
I have a
someone's sock,
friend.
you do. Someone's socks aren't on at 8 o'clock. It's okay. We're getting them on and we're getting out the door.
Could you have a
Can't imagine it.
monster? I
My
become
parents
a
have told me
monster.
before. I met someone like this many, many years ago. And she was a wonderful, wonderful woman. She at that point was like older, married, whatever. And I told my mom, I was like, I think I want to be like her one day. And my parents were like, that's really nice, but you never will be. So rude and true. But anyway, so can't get out the door on time. Largely, I think kindergarten has been great. I get the impression things are going really
Good.
well. I will say, though, one thing I am not loving the attitude that has come with entering kindergarten.
Yeah.
I'm like my sweet tempered
Mm-mm.
boy who's just always been so loving. What?
Mm-hmm.
We are a mix of a feral animal when we get home
Yep.
from school.
Yeah,
But
they're
then
monsters.
after we get through the feral animal stage, we're just attitude and whining about everything. It is like I'm asking for things to be done 3 separate times. I'm getting a distinct attitude about half the things that I say. Like, I don't want to do that. Why? I am like taken aback and not loving it. So I
No.
don't know if this is a stage or if this is like the rest of our lives. So for anyone with older parents, you're 2 years ahead of us. Tell me there's a light, or is this just it?
No, I don't think that there's a light, but I think, well, again, here I go again. I also have a tough, tough, tough. I would say your sweet, sweet boy is much sweeter than my 7-year-old child,
They're
even
very
though
sweet together, though, I will say.
they love each other. But
They love
Henry
each
is,
other so much. They have such a special friendship.
it's
It's very,
so
very sweet.
sweet. It's really, really sweet. Piper, Finley, and Ruby are just kind of there for the party, but Henry and Isla really, I will say my kindergarten year was really rough, but they made a really good effort. I don't know if your school's talked about it, of like the normalcy period of like it takes any kid between 6 and 8 weeks. Kindergarten is such a big time. Like we've had way easier transitions in first and second grade than kindergarten. Kindergarten was every single day I would pick up Isla and be like pins and needles of like, what version of her am I going to get today? And you hear this, like, we're the safe space. I mean, it was so bad that I even talked to her school counselor about it. And I told her teacher, I was like, they were shocked. They were like, she's the most calm, put together kid at school. I have no idea what you're talking about. So that I think is really normal. But I do sadly think like they just pick up on like hierarchy already of kids. Who's in charge on playground? Who's older? Like, I'll never forget, she was just like so upset that kids that were younger than her were taller than her. Cause I
Hmm.
think on the playground, they're talking like, well, how old are you? I'm taller than you. And like,
Yeah.
it's
And that's
just
one
like,
thing Henry has going for him. He's like randomly a tall kid, despite the fact
yeah,
that we're not tall. And so he really owns that. But he's
yeah. And
quiet and he's like pretty introverted.
I just feel
I would
like
love to know what that playground situation actually looks like. Because
and
I
then
don't know.
like, I think like the positive take on it, which is I try to tell myself because I was a teacher and I like love kids being kids because I see it on the playground is like the amount of social skills that they're learning is like so
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I remember Isla would completely pick up on attitudes. And then I would ask her, like, hey, babe, like, we don't really say that in this house. Where's that from? And sometimes she would say, like, oh, well, let's say her name was Molly. That's what Molly says to me. And they just like pick up on that. But what's great about it is they outgrow it. Like here, Isla is now in second grade, and I'm not getting that at all. I'm getting way more like she's already critiquing what the teacher's doing, less of what her classmates are doing. But the new kindergarten it's a rough 3 months. I mean,
Well, I mean, I do feel like this will provide a little bit of comedic relief for this, but just this morning, one of the things that Henry told us when we were talking about something, and then Piper gladly repeated, was that he was going to punch someone in the nuts. So
no.
that's a new phrase in this house. And then Piper immediately was like, "I'm going to punch someone in the nuts." I'm like, I don't really want this
No.
in this house. So, but
Yeah.
that is like playground. Like there's
Yeah.
no
You
one
have
in
a
this
boy.
house has ever said that. And it's,
Nope. Nope. You have a boy. You have some boy broness in that playground. Oh my
I mean, we
gosh.
want the arm sleeves, the chains, like there's just a lot of gear that comes along with becoming a kindergartner, apparently.
There is. And I think Isla came home with a parent info sheet, and one of them was like, what are some strengths of your kid? What are some goals? And I will say like one of the biggest things with Isla is like, I just am constantly wanting her to be her own person because
Hmm.
she's always, and I was like this. I
And
only
she's so
wanted,
unique and so smart and so,
yeah, but
yeah.
like, I mean, literally down to like when the seasons change, if I tell her it's warm enough for shorts, she'll literally be like, Mom, nobody wore shorts yesterday. Like, do you think my best friend Lola's going to even wear shorts? Everybody wore pants yesterday. And just like challenging her to just be like, be yourself. So like Henry's seen all the boys on the playground with all that stuff, and he comes back and wants it. That's so normal. And like any
Right.
social, we still do that. I see
We still
everybody in
do
New
that.
York's, yeah, New York
Yeah.
City, everyone has the coolest purses. I'm like, I want that purse. But then to like edit, but they're so young. And so sometimes I'm like, as long as he's like still being sweet Henry, I am always under the impression of like, it's such a fun social experiment, you
Some
know?
of the time he's still being sweet Henry, but wow, it's been.
It's a
So we'll
lot.
keep you posted. We're not to the 6 to 8 week period yet, so
Yeah.
I've got some time for this to normalize. But yeah, it's been exciting. So we made it through summer. We're in back
Made it
to
through summer.
school, as I think now everyone is, which is great. Sam a
Yeah.
month later than.
I have 2 more days of transition for Ruby, and then she's finally 3's full day. I know. Yeah. Finley just went to pre-K, so she's finally at Isla's school. And my only like sweet back to school is I've moved a lot. Any listeners that know that are new listeners. And Isla went to 5 different schools in 5 years of her first 5 years of life. Not proud of it, but that's what happened. And this is the 3rd grade that we moved halfway into kindergarten. So then she went to the same school as kindergarten first. And then this was the 3rd year that she went to the same school. And like the joy that I have just being able to like give her that. And she's so
Yeah,
excited. But then
yeah.
this year, Finley gets to go to her school, which I've never had that either. So Finley and her like hold hands walking to school every
Oh
day.
my
And it's like
gosh.
heart melting. But we've actually had a really sweet back to school. It's been really, I mean, pre-K I think is a little bit different. We'll do kindergarten next year, and I've heard even at this,
Big time. It's the big time. All right. Well, I can't remember. Something
I
you've
have a
done for
product.
yourself?
I have a product.
Okay. And I have something I'm going to do for myself. So I'm just gonna.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know. You're in the know about everything. Have you heard of Bandit?
Yeah.
You know everything.
It's okay.
Anyway,
But no, the other people don't.
well, I know, but like, so I did not realize that Bandit, the running gear,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are from Brooklyn, but they're literally like in my neighborhood of Brooklyn. And so when I'm out running in Brooklyn, I'm not exaggerating. I told the lady at the store this when I say 75% of people are wearing this brand over any of the other popular labels, head to toe, fully top, bottoms, everything. They're like, and I always knew that they're like
Do
a
you think
Brooklyn.
it's like Brooklyn Pride?
So that's why I'm interested if you ever, I know you've heard of it because you're very in the
Yeah.
know, but like I'm interested if you see people wearing it because like I only
No.
see, I don't know about people
No.
maybe
We're
that go to
middle
like,
America. We've
yeah,
got Lululemon. That's it.
right. But
So,
you've heard of it. Okay. So I had to try their shorts because that's
yeah.
what everybody wears. And they were amazing. You can tell that they are made for runners. They have all the pockets that you need, but my favorite thing is at the bottom of the running shorts, in the inside, they have like a sticky thing so they don't ride up.
I love that.
It was so I did a 15-mile run with them last weekend, and now I'm a believer,
Felt
and
great.
I
And you're
need to
like,
get
now I
like
need 300 pairs of these.
yeah, they were middle price compared to all the other brands. I think they were like
Yeah,
$75, but it was worth I had to give it a try because everybody was doing it, and then they were worth it. So Bandit, it
I
was
love
great.
that.
I know.
Amazing.
Yeah, it
That's
was
great.
great.
And what am I going to do for myself? So next week is my birthday, and we are inching closer and closer to 40, but just embracing it. I'm just getting really excited about 40s, so
I
it's
know. We're gonna crush
great.
it.
But I am not taking my actual birthday off, but I'm taking a day off to get my hair done, like we've already talked about, get my nails done, just like take a day on a Friday.
Good for you.
And we're gonna go to the IU game and just like make it a fun day. So I just don't feel like I ever do things like that. So I'm really proud of myself and I'm just gonna do it. Kids are in school, like I'm not trying to like optimize for anyone else's time except for my own.
Oh
So
my gosh, I love this for you. Good job. Proud of you.
yeah. All right. Well,
All
thanks for
right.
listening. We'll sleep when we're
Bye.
dead. Bye.